of this was decided.
You really think you can change the future?
All of this was decided.
The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear.
All of this was decided.
Good tidings, ladies and gentlemen of the Lodge, and welcome back. We have another Kingdom Hearts video lined up for all of you today, where we're going to be discussing the body-hopping, eye-patch-wearing, no-name-wielding legend that is Luxu. The mysteries and questions surrounding Luxu have only just begun as far as I'm concerned, so today we are here to speculate, why is Luxu's eye still yellow? So prepare yourselves, as we will be putting this situation under a microscope, and when we get to the end, I'll propose a theory that may tie all of this together. So, with all of that out of the way, may this Kingdom Hearts theory commence. So of course, let's start with the context of the yellow eye. Throughout the series, the yellow eye was essentially a sign of being a vessel for Master Xehanort, or perhaps more generally, just a sign of darkness possession in general. Take note of Larxene and Marluxia in Chain of Memories. Different color eyes, but here in Kingdom Hearts 3, when they are suited to be Xehanort's vessels, their eyes flip to yellow. In fact, more specifically, we see this same change happen with Luxu in Birth by Sleep.
Who are you?
So with this context of the yellow eyes, does this mean that Luxu is still technically Norded? Let's get into that a little bit here. So as we know, unlike all the other organization members who were defeated and recompleted, truth is, Luxu was an outlier. We see everybody else fade away in the same fashion, but Luxu, in a sense, fakes his death in front of Sora and Riku. Meaning that he never recompleted the way the other organization members did, which would technically mean that the Xehanort part of him may have never left. Now, what would be the reason for this? I'll get into that in a minute, but for now I'd like to parallel what may be going on with Luxu to Sora. So as we know, Sora essentially served as a guardian of light hotel for the likes of Ventus, Roxas, and Xion. But have we considered that Luxu could be doing something similar? I mean, with the little bit that we know, he essentially served a similar purpose to Brain. We see Luxu strike a deal with Brain that allowed Luxu to seemingly use his body, and in exchange, Brain was recompleted in Ephemer's Scala ad Caelum. Now, seeing this sequence of events take place with Brain, how do we know that something similar isn't going on with Luxu and Xehanort? Again, maybe the yellow eye is a mistake. Or perhaps maybe the yellow eye is a sign of a different darkness possession. But if it's not a mistake, and if it's not a sign of a different darkness possession, then it's actually quite deliberate. And if it's deliberate, then we have to wonder if maybe a deal was struck behind the scenes between Xehanort and Luxu, or if Luxu could be doing this without Xehanort's knowledge. Although, alternatively, it's also possible Xehanort may have forced this deal on Luxu, as opposed to the way Luxu may have forced this deal on Brain. But anyway, with all of this context, I want to rewatch this particular scene here, as I think with all of this in mind, specifically the idea that Luxu may be carrying some part of Xehanort with him, it warrants thinking this scene over a little bit.
That was more difficult than I thought, but at least things are on track. Lord Xemnas is nowhere to be seen, so that means the party's already begun, huh?
Yes.
Man, does that Xehanort scare me like nobody's business. The way he can see into minds. And it doesn't help that no one knows what it is that the old man wants. I wonder if even you know what's going on inside your own head.
I will be led wherever it is I am destined to go.
Sounds to me like you don't have a clue of your own.
Every Keyblade Master is bequeathed a Keyblade of his very own. With the passing of time, as you can imagine, more and more Keyblades were forged to be handed down. But of all the Keyblades in existence, Master Xehanort's is the most ancient. That is my destiny. But it has yet to become a reality.
Hey, it's okay. This is all connected to the ancient Keyblade War, isn't that right? Whatever. I got my hands full with my own plans. So, which poor soul will it be?
So a few things to note here. 1. Have we considered that young Xehanort knows a thing or two about Luxu? Notice after he mentions the passing of time, he says, "as you can imagine," to Luxu.
With the passing of time, as you can imagine.
2. He clearly has an interest in the no-name Keyblade, particularly for the fact that he sees his future self wielding it, but perhaps more notable, he mentions how ancient it is.
But of all the Keyblades in existence, Master Xehanort's is the most ancient. That is my destiny.
Again, he doesn't emphasize that Master Xehanort necessarily wields the Keyblade, he brings emphasis to how ancient it is. 3. I can't get the first words he said here out of my head.
I will be led wherever it is I am destined to go.
Very peculiar that he would say that with Luxu standing right there. In fact, all of his dialogue, in a cryptic sort of manner, alludes to young Xehanort knowing a thing or two about Luxu. Knowing what we know now, he appears to be very clued in. So what am I getting at here? What would be the purpose for Luxu carrying a piece of Xehanort forward in time with him? Well, unless you are a stranger to the channel, those of you know I have been theorizing that Xehanort will end up in Quadratum or the world of fiction some way, somehow. There has been hint after hint when it comes to Xehanort's return, but the logistics of such a return have always been kind of fuzzy. However, if we consider that Luxu is still technically Norded, then perhaps this will provide a way for young Xehanort to come back. However, what could Luxu possibly need Xehanort for? We can sit and theorize all day on this, but let me share what I think may be the most on-the-nose example. What if Luxu is preserving a way to bring back Xehanort to make him a vessel for darkness? Considering the Master of Masters himself helped push and groom young Xehanort towards a dark road, who's to say that wasn't just for the purposes of starting a Keyblade War, but also for crafting a new darkness vessel? I suppose if you took the alternative route, where Luxu would turn against the Master of Masters, as opposed to serving him, then perhaps he's holding Xehanort as a trump card of sorts. Either way, the truth remains to be seen. But that's going to just about do it for today's theory, so what do all of you sickos and normies think? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, but with that said, you all be good out there, be good to yourselves and each other, and I will see all of you beautiful sickos and normies next time.
All of this was decided.
You really think you can change the future?
All of this was decided.
The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear.
All of this was decided.
Why not just sit back and watch it play out?
All of this was decided.
May your heart be your guiding key.